Well, welcome everyone to today's webinar on how to reach more Microsoft Dynamics VARs. I'm Carol Livingston and I'm the owner of Dynamics Connections. So welcome to today's meeting. My background is actually accounting and finance. So I started out working in the accounting field, got my CPA, worked at one of the big four firms out of Seattle, worked at a lot of .coms and software companies around the Seattle area. And about midway through my career, changed directions and got into consulting. And when I was with several different companies, that we selected Great Plains at that time. And as a customer, I thought it was a great product. And when I went to do some consulting, I did financial consulting for a while. I called myself a controller a day. I went to a lot of VC-backed companies in the Seattle area. We had a lot of VCs there. So just kind of filled in as they needed some accounting help, maybe prepare a budget or do some accounting functions for them. My husband and I relocated to the West Coast, and then we became part of the Dynamics community there. I joined a firm there and helped customers implement Dynamics GP, and that was probably about 15 years ago now. So that's kind of how I got into the world of Dynamics. And since then, I worked at some smaller VARs on the West Coast, as well as a large international company called Columbus. You might know them. They're a large Microsoft partner worldwide. And I led the GP practice, and then we became the SMB practice. And then about 2 years ago, I bought this business from Ken Peterson. I'll talk a little bit about Dynamics Connections here in a minute. Our agenda today is really to kind of give you a sense of, who we are, our values, and what value we bring. And, I probably won't talk much about who we are not or what we don't provide as far as services. So hopefully you'll walk away with a good understanding of how we can help you as an ISV connect with VARs in the Microsoft channel. I'll also share a little bit about our clients and testimonials and on metrics. We have 5.5 years. So I have a lot of historical metrics that I can share. I will send you this presentation at the end of the call, or you can always reach out to me and I can always send you a copy. There's a lot of good metrics in here if you want to study them, think about that as far as your ROI. I'll also go over the pricing and then the next steps. Okay? So a little bit about Dynamics Connections. So it was founded in 2017 by a Microsoft veteran, Ken Peterson. She worked in the Microsoft channel for, I think, over 20 years, something like that. She also was the general manager of the Dynamics communities for GPUG, the user group. And then she worked at a VAR, she worked at an ISV. So she worked a lot of different roles in the channel. And she kind of was looking for something that would give her flexibility and started this business. And at that time, it was 5.5 years ago, she had a lot of connections in the Dynamics GP space and a lot of ISVs that she knew. So she thought it'd be a great model to educate partners about ISVs and connect them and if they were interested in having a mutual working relationship. So pretty excited. About 2 years ago, I was also participating. I was a partner that participated in their education program when I was at Columbus and started talking to her about her business model and decided that this is something that sounded interesting to me. So I bought her company 2 years ago, and we just celebrated our 5th year anniversary in August. So I'm pretty proud to say we're more than 5 years old now. What we do is we offer services to ISVs to introduce their solutions to the ERP VARs and partners. We do that through ISV educational sessions. We have research resources and we provide advisory services. But kind of the main thing I'd say that we do is we provide that warm introduction and introduce you to contacts, partners maybe you haven't met yet or aren't aware of your services and solutions. So our value and our mission is really build that awareness around third-party ERP solutions. And our vision is really to be the best and most well-informed resource on ISVs for VARs so that we become a trusted resource and kind of a hub. I see ourselves as a hub of information and connecting people that are interested in learning about third-party companion software. So meet the team. Of course, that's myself, Carol Livingston. And then also we have Brian Livingston, who's my husband. I told you a little bit about my background. I came from accounting and finance and then got into working in the channel as a consultant and later I was a services manager. Brian's background is came from marketing. And so he's also worked in the field of ministry and churches and has also been an author, written several books, and he helps with our video content and a lot of our marketing communications. He's helping on this webinar today, managing the room with the chat and entering people into the webinar. So let's talk about the market. So these are some guesses, but also I had some actual data points that I found. So the SMB market on GP, we have about 250 active partners. That's really kind of a guess on our part. There's probably at least 50 independent consultants out there that support their own group of customers. And then there's probably about 35,000 estimated customers. I don't know that range. And some people say it's upwards to 55,000. I'll show some data on our actual VARs and how many customers they carry, so you can kind of get a sense for it's upwards in that 30,000 range. On the Business Central side, there's probably 3,300 active partners, and that was as of a year ago. So at Directions EMEA last year, in 2021, they did share some metrics and data. They didn't this year in 2022, but the year before they did. So I got that right off the Microsoft chart. Then the BC ISV space, so the app source and certified ISVs. Last year at Inspire, Microsoft said there was over 2,200 certified ISV partners. And then just kind of an estimate on how many customers, there's probably over 32,000 now that have licenses for Business Central. And how I got that number was I looked at the EMEA numbers. Again, they didn't share in 2022, but the year before, they said they had 20,000 customers on Business Central. This past year, they said it was a 60% increase, and it's the fastest growing business app at Microsoft. So that's how I kind of guessed at that 32,000. So lots and lots of growth there. Anyway, kind of the point is companion products. We have probably on the ISV world, there's at least 150, maybe Business Central over 2,200. Like I said, that number came from the Inspire number. And BC partners are now understanding the value of ISVs. I feel like a lot of the traditionally NAV or Business Central partners were used to building their own solutions and adding them to the environment. So now they're starting to understand that there are a lot of good apps and a lot of gaps that maybe could be filled easily with ISV. And GP partners are also asking for ISVs. So we're seeing that. And then there's other ISVs entering into the dynamic space from other ERPs as well. So that's kind of exciting. That's probably what makes my job the most interesting. There's a lot of changes going on in the SMB space for Dynamics. And then marketing through the partner channel. I think ISVs have told me that they've reported higher close rates when partners bring them an opportunities. You know, if you're looking at ways to get more opportunities, is it going direct to a customer or is it going through a partner channel? And I really believe that when you work through a partner channel and you have a partner program, you get that multiplier effect. So partners have up to 200 customers typically. That's a lot of customers. Be hard for you to reach, right? But that trusted advisor already works with those customers, and if they bring you an opportunity, it sure is a lot more likely that it'll have an opportunity to close. And then a lot of ISVs and partners work together so that can help reach more customers through marketing and kind of mutual goals. And then what services we offer? We offer, and kind of I try to boil it down as just some of the main services that we offer. So we do pre-arranged quarterly meetings with about 180 Microsoft partners. So what that means is on my calendar, I have individual meetings with partners that are recurring. And every quarter we get together and I go through a list of ISVs, and it's an hour of education for them. So, and I get pretty good attendance, probably 1 to 3 people at each of those meetings. I also host a monthly webinar, and that's not mainly what I do, but I do invite anybody on my contact list. There's just a lot of partners I don't meet with or contacts. So I just do a general invite, but I also invite my partners that missed that one-on-one meeting. So it gives them a chance to make up that content for that quarter. And we usually get about 20 people each month that attend. So, and then ISV Library Perpetual Listing. This is actually a really cool resource for our partners. I make sure at every one-on-one meeting I have with partners that they have access, they know how to get into it, they know how to leverage it. And a lot of partners tell me they use it. I have over 4,600 people that have access. And if you want access to it, you can go to my website, dynamicsconnections.com, go to the tab that says ISV library, and there's a button there. You can fill out your email and it'll send you a link. So try that out. And then we also provide, out of those meetings that I have every week, I send out to my clients a weekly lead sheet. It's a spreadsheet of everybody I met with, their contacts, how many customers they have, what industries they're in, and then their comments on each of the ISVs from that session. If they're interested in that moment that I'm meeting with them, they say, hey, I need more information. I've got a customer in mind. I call that a hot lead. So I'll send off a email right away and copy my ISV client on that. So they can connect with that ISV right away. And about 30% of our leads are hot leads. And I'll talk a little bit more about that. Our ISV Talks, that's a video web show that we do. We started this about 1.5 years ago. That's what my husband Brian does, is do the video editing for that. But we do that interview, and it gives you a chance to kind of showcase in a different way. It's not a demo or a webinar type of style. It's really a conversation about your products, how you help customers, talk about your unique value and features, and also to talk about trends in the industry too. So you get a chance to, kind of share your thoughts about what you're seeing in the partner channel or with customers. We do publish that on our website, on YouTube channels and social media, and we encourage you as a customer, you're paying for it. So as part of the service, encourage you to also share that on your social media. We've had some great success with that. And then we also, just this session for fall coming up, is we're offering a channel management training kit. And that is a access on demand videos, a set of materials and tools that you can leverage to create a really effective channel management program. What I see a lot of times is that folks do tend to get these leads from us, and then they don't really have a great way to kind of follow up and nurture those relationships. So this really kind of gets you organized, gives you some tools. So that's now part of our service, that we include that new training kit program. So what type of ISVs work with Dynamics Connections? So there's kind of really 3 types. There's the ones that I call them cross ERPs. In the Dynamics channel, we have a lot of Business Central ISVs that want to meet GP partners. So how do you get in front of them? How do you meet them? So that's part of the reason they come to our program. I also have a lot of GP ISVs that are becoming compatible with Business Central, and they don't know the now Business Central partners. So there's a lot of crossover of wanting to introduce themselves to that group of partners. And then also there's a lot of ERP ISVs from other channels that are moving into Dynamics. So kind of the other way. They're coming from Intact, NetSuite, QuickBooks, and even Macola. The other type of customers, maybe a small or new. So I have had international customers. That's hard to get to know those in North America, which primarily is our partner base that we talk to. So if they're small, maybe they don't have budget, enough to hire a full-time person. I become that business development rep for them and get those introductions and conversations going. And then also work with well-established ISVs. So some of them you might know and love. I call them the usual suspects, right? Maybe a lot of partners know them. Sometimes partners forget, that they maybe haven't worked with them in a while, so it's kind of a refresh. But there's also changes, like they might have new products and new features that they had not heard about. We've also had rebrandings, companies that have changed names and gone through a merger acquisition. So those are typically the 3 reasons that I work with ISVs at Dynamics Connections. And how we provide value is that, we have 10 ISVs every, what I call semester. It's a 6-month period we work together. And I don't overlap those topics. So if you're an AP automation topic, then I'll ask anybody else that comes to want to sign up for that session to wait. So you have that exclusive topic. Of course, you get the leads and contacts that are new to you through our pre-arranged quarterly meetings with VARs. We have that. And we also encourage you to offer something special to the VARs that they can only get through our program. That's one reason that VARs attend our program, is not only for the education, but also they could get a special offer, like maybe a gift card or a special margin on their first sale, or a lunch and learn for their team. And you also get that perpetual listing in the ISV library. So I mentioned the ISV library. That's a partner-only portal that is full of ISV information. So once you're listed in there, you continue to be listed. So that goes beyond our program time. And during that 6-month period, we have 2 unique messages to the partners. So we have 2 quarterly meetings, in other words, that happen during that 6-month period. And we do have a proven track record. I get a lot of questions on, can you share the metrics? And I'll give you some of those just so that you can review that. But we do have over 2,100 professionals on our mailing list. So kind of the one thing I'll say about that, I don't have end users. I don't reach out to end users. I don't do webinars to end users. This is just with partners and professionals at those that are in the Dynamics channel. You know, now kind of comparing that to other types of lead generation services, or some that are maybe, you know, more around collaboration or helping you generate leads. And that's a variety of leads. It could be an end user lead. It could be a partner. You just don't know. With my program, we're targeting and providing leads with partners. You know, the other option is just work on your own. You know, maybe you don't have those contacts. How do you get in front of partners? You know, they don't return your calls or LinkedIn messages. How do you get in front of them? You know, get them to attend your marketing activities. So just another way to get in front of those partners. And this is just to kind of share with you kind of the spring semester that's currently happening right now, which started February 1st, goes through July 31st. And you can see that topics don't overlap. We don't have competing ISVs, and we try to balance GP versus Business Central. And actually, to be honest, more of our ISVs now are Business Central focused, because that's what the interest is. And then you can see some of them, you might recognize names. I've got industry specific ISVs. I've got kind of general ones like automation tools. I've also got specific ones like AP or AR automation. So that's who's currently in our program today or right now. For the fall semester, which is really what we're here for, is to talk about opportunity to join the fall session, which starts August 1st. We have 1 client so far. So that topic on requisitions, AP and payment automation, that topic's already taken, but I have room for 9 more ISVs. So like I said, we cover usually 10. This is our compatibility chart. This chart is used as part of our agenda when we're talking with our partners, but it is the topics that we cover during that 6-month period. And you can see this was the fall session. And what's nice about this compatibility chart, lots of partners really enjoy having this, and I send it to them as part of my summary follow-up email. It has what they're compatible with. So if they're compatible with Business Central or NAV, and that's what they're focused on, then it helps them see that. They also have compatibility with other ERPs. As you know, there's a lot of Dynamics partners that also work and support other ERPs. So Acumatica, Sage Intacct, NetSuite, Oracle. So there are other ERP solutions out there that the ISVs may be compatible. So kind of breaking down again, that terminology I use is semester. That is the 6-month agreement period that we work together. So a full semester, I call it spring or fall, kind of falls within that time frame. Spring, which just kicked off for 2023, is February 1st through July 31st, and fall is August 1st through January 31st. And for the full semester, we're starting a new service, which is one of those spots we're reserving and rotating in a new ISV. So this is an ISV that we've never represented before. We give them the option of being in that program for 3 months, and that also gives me something new to talk about. I get a lot of, feedback that they'd like to hear some new ISVs every time they meet with me every quarter. So it's kind of a way to get ISV started with our program, but also give some new fresh content. And we do cover Business Central and GP ISVs in that semester for Dynamics. We're also adding a new service called Semester 2. And some of you might have heard me talk about this, but this is really kind of continuing the program. So if you joined our program for 6 months and then you want to sign up again, I'm usually discouraging you. Number one, you've already kind of got in front of the partners. It probably takes some time to follow up and nurture those leads, but also partners do want to hear new content and want to learn about something new. So I do encourage you to come back, but maybe take a break. This actually gives you another option to continue with maybe a smaller group, but more focused on Business Central. So if you're a Business Central ISV, you've enjoyed our program, this might be a great way to continue that. We're expecting to have about 30 Business Central partners in that program to start. So pretty excited about that, because it'll be a nice opportunity to meet some new partners that you haven't met yet. So that's new. And also, you might have heard me announce this on LinkedIn that we are also getting into Acumatica. I see a lot of the Microsoft partners, of course, getting into other areas like, say Genpact, NetSuite, and Acumatica. For a lot of the SMB clients, I see a pretty strong migration to Acumatica. So that's why I decided to start a program. So that is Acumatica ISVs presented to Acumatica partners. So some of those partners might also be in my Microsoft sessions, but we're not combining them, if that makes sense. We'll have a separate session that's just focused on Acumatica ISVs. And we're breaking that into, kind of spring and fall staggered, with our Microsoft Dynamics sessions. And this is just kind of gives you an idea of the clients that we've had. It's kind of an eye chart, I know, with all the different logos. But what I'm proud to say is about 25% of our clients or more have used our services more than 2 times. And I'm proud about that because I think that shows the value. And this is a snapshot of our partners that we've met with over the last, this was fall. So at the end of our semester, I always kind of do a snapshot of all our metrics and, look at our partners and how many customers they have. And this gives you a nice breakdown of how many, I meet with over 180 organizations. So a lot of them carry GP, Business Centrals, Growing, F&O, NAV, SL, and CRM. So some do all, some do some of those or 1 or 2 of those things. But I always find out and learn how many customers they have, get updates on that. That's something we kind of chit chat at the beginning of our one-on-one sessions every quarter. So I get a pretty good number out of that. And you can see here, we've got almost 17,000 GP customers represented by 126 partners. And what's interesting is the Business Central side of that is growing. So GP partners are getting into Business Central. We were adding and recruiting more NAV and Business Central partners. So that definitely is growing. Just a couple of written testimonials. You can, take a look at that here. But I think, kind of the one thing I'll say about Dynamic Point, the comment here is that we're acting as a business development resource. So they don't really have the bandwidth to, reach out to those partners and get introductions. And Dynamics Connections has also helped Vivid Reports in providing them a real organized and structured system and process for, what to do with those leads and getting in front of partners. And real quick, I wanted to share a video of some actual customers.
Hi, my name is David Gersten. I'm National Partner Manager here at VersaPay. I own the relationship for our Microsoft channel, our NetSuite channel, and our Sage channel. Real excited to work with Dynamics Connections. Been real valuable interactions, a lot of new contacts. What's been really great with this relationship is that Dynamics Connections brought us partners that we've been working with, but you see a lot of challenges over the years that the turnover happens. Like, I used to be in the channel and I was with 3 different partners over 12 years. Keeping that up is hard as an ISV. So we really appreciated, first of all, obviously, great new introductions to partners that we had no idea of. There was hundreds of partners out there, if not thousands, and there's always 1 or 2 or a few each month that we get new introductions, which is great. But even better is the new people at each of the partners that are out there. That's really been able to kind of have us land and expand within the existing partner base. We got some great new opportunities, both contact-wise, introductions. We had a brand change. So I really recommend Dynamics Connections if you're doing any messaging changes. So continual relationship throughout time. So we plan on doing this again, probably every other semester type of thing. So that new messaging happens all the time and using the Dynamics Connections audience and platform to deliver that messaging makes it really easier for us.
It's been really great for us with Dynamics Connections. We get a lot of connections to a lot of people. In our space, there are movement of contacts all the time. With working with Carol, we get the opportunity to keep us fresh and on top of mind with those contacts. We want to stay top of mind with those folks that are really doing the business. And Carol helps us reach those people very well. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Tom Nielsen with Liaison Software. We're an ISV for Dynamics GP and quite a number of ERP solutions, and we've been in business for 23 years. We've worked with Dynamics Connections for the past 4 months now, and the value that I see in it is really coming up with the new contacts. Carol's really uncovered quite a number of new contacts for us. So she's on her calls and introducing our product to these VARs and giving us a warm handover to the contacts. What I love about it though is definitely the new contact, but she provides a spreadsheet of the leads and details related to each of those third-party VARs. So what products they support, who the contacts are, and all that contact information is really key. It's real hard these days to really dig that that information out of companies, and so that's been really valuable. It's been very organized. She's been, once a week we're getting a spreadsheet with a list of the people that she's presented our products to, and a lot of value in that.
Well, hi, my name is Derek Beaupre, and I am the Channel Development Manager with Nolan Business Solutions. And I just wanted to let anybody know who's considering working with Dynamics Connections just a little bit about our experience. This is actually our second time working with the Dynamics Connections team. It has been fantastic. We did it a number of years ago, and this was pre-launch of our Business Central solutions, and we had a great experience. And it was time to launch our new products. We looked and said, hey, we'd had a great experience before. Let's work with the Dynamics Connections team again. We reached out to try and help launch our new Business Central products to the channel. And, Dynamics Connections has been an amazing resource for us. The team there is, pretty much all came from the channel. They know a lot of the partners. They've worked in these systems before. They're well educated and easy to work with. So it's been fantastic. I would say our second round here has been a great success. We've seen a lot of meetings booked with partners who are interested in our solutions, not only for one or two clients, but to introduce their whole teams to our solution. I really can't say enough good things about working with Dynamics Connections. Carol has been fantastic, and we would highly recommend it to anyone. Feel free, if anybody wants to connect directly, hear a little bit more about our experience, we're happy to share. And would just like to give a big thanks to the Dynamics Connections team for all their hard work. And we're looking forward to working with them in the future as well.
And those are actually the most recent ISVs we worked with in the fall semester. So you can see more endorsements on our website at dynamicsconnections.com. So I encourage you to go listen in their own words. They can explain how they felt about the services that we provide. And so kind of getting into those metrics now. And kind of in our most recent semester results, we always kind of do a debrief at the end of the semester, take a look at kind of all the results as a team, as a group, and then individually we look at your results. And kind of the high level is that a lot of partners had high interest in solutions that were either new to the marketplace or BC compatible. Like I said, a lot of interest in Business Central and what's new. And also that we had some updates to well-known ISVs, like we had Avalara, Cavallo. Those are pretty well-known brands in the marketplace. And so it's kind of reminding the partners about them and their new products and features. And we have strong calls to action. Again, those offers, the ones that worked well, we had team lunch and learn, discovery calls, offering a gift card, and just a demo. And then we had several ISVs that were new to the Dynamics channel. It's always exciting to me when I can introduce partners to new ISVs. And ISVs who also have come back. We actually have several every time that do come back from a previous semester, and they continue to gain value from that. So kind of the key metrics we had from the fall. So just talk about these real quickly. From our fall semester, just looking at one semester that recently happened, we had 725 leads. And in that semester, we actually had 11 ISVs. So a little bit higher than I think than normal. Our average number of leads was 66 total. And then of that, 28% were hot leads. So what I mean by that is those right after the session, someone will say, hey, Carol, I want to know more about this. I've got an opportunity in mind. I'd really like to learn more. I'll send an email immediately after our meeting or session and introduce them to the ISV. We do have a lot of leads, though. I would consider more warm leads. In other words, I've never heard of you. To me, that's an introduction, right? You did find a contact that did not know your name or your brand or your solution. So that's an introduction. And again, those are included in our weekly lead sheet. And we had 38 company meetings per month. When I started this about 2 years ago, taking over from Kim, we were averaging about 35 meetings per month. So I'm proud to say that we're still keeping that attendance of number of companies attending our meetings. And we typically have 1 to 3 people attend each meeting. Some groups are bigger because they're bigger teams, and others might be just the kind of the key contact for ISVs. But we've had over 400 professionals in the last semester that joined, and we had 226 companies that we met, 103 in Q1 and 123 in Q2. So if you boil that down and kind of look at how many unique companies, we had 120. So I'm kind of looking at just overall, we have a proven track record. So I'm happy to say we do have a lot of metrics and statistics that really show you that we have continually provided leads and introductions. So kind of the 2 metrics here to look at are the number of total leads. In the fall, we had 725, 28% were leads, but kind of overall, our average for hot leads is about 30%. We had a little bit more in the fall semester familiar brands, so they weren't new to them, but we did have still quite a high number of hot leads. And most semesters, people see an average of about 80 leads per ISV over that 6-month period. So getting about 12 ISV leads or VAR leads a month, with about 30% of those being hot leads. And in the last 5 years, we generated over 8,200 leads in total for all of our ISVs that we've worked with. If you want to take a look at this, I will send you the slide deck. It has kind of our historical numbers by semester, all the way through the most recent one in the fall. So it kind of gives you an idea of number of companies that have attended, number of people, number of leads generated, and overall averages. I'll definitely send you this. You can kind of study those numbers and see for yourself that, we've maintained a good record of metrics here. This is kind of a fun chart. You have to kind of turn your head sideways, but there are a lot of ISVs in here that you can see the number of leads that they got. So some got more than 80, which is our average. Some got less. But you can see here for the fall semester anyway, we had 3 that were the top. Mercury BI was a brand new reporting tool. No one had ever met them yet. So we had a lot of interest and a lot of warm leads. And then also Fidozic, they're an AP automation tool. A lot of people had not heard of them. So we had a lot of introductions there. And then Project Street 365, this is an interesting one. We've had them in our program before. They've come back from over a year ago. And they still had a lot of people saying they're new to them. So it's always interesting to see. And you can see on this chart here, it shows like maybe it'll say number 1, number 2. Well, that just is really showing that some of those ISVs have come back more than once. And then just kind of a chart here showing our overall leads by month. And then kind of another metric here, leads by semester. So you can see our latest semester in the fall was 725 leads. In spring 2021, I get a lot of questions. Why is that so large? We had actually 11 ISVs in that semester, and a lot of them were new. So we got a lot of leads that semester. We try to target 10 ISVs, so sometimes we get a few more, sometimes a few less. This is our attendance. So again, there's some metrics that I track every week as part of that weekly lead sheet. You also get a report of our metrics, number of leads by ISV, how many people attended, how many meetings we held. And you can see here our trend is continually growing because we're continually adding new partners and VARs to our program. And then we also kind of looked at a breakdown of sort of the overall responses. Again, using the fall as our example here, 67% of their responses, and this is not the leads, this is just what they tell me, right? They've never heard of them. And also we had about 34% that said they had a prospect in mind and they wanted to follow up. So we always kind of take a fresh look at all of the responses, not just the leads that I categorize as warm and hot leads, but actually everybody's response in that semester. So kind of in summary, we do have a proven track record. And so we have over 5 years of providing leads and connections with VARs. And there's over an average of 80 leads per Dynamics ISV every semester. We generate leads with VARs. Of course, a lot of programs out there will do webinars, they'll do social media, they'll help, with some marketing planning, and all that's all good. I'm not saying that's not good, but what I do that's different and adds value is providing those actual contacts and introductions with the partners. So 30% of the leads are considered hot leads. In other words, they say, I want to know more, I have a client in mind, I want to reach out to them and learn more. So they're more sales ready than just a, oh, I've never heard of them kind of lead. And we make those connections. Really, we drive to try to get those introductions. Yes, I do the presentation with those VARs, but my goal is to try to find out what their interests are and hopefully get the introduction with you. Some people say I'm like a dating service or a matchmaking service where I'm doing those introductions and hopefully get you that meeting. So pricing. So we have now multiple packages or services to offer. We have our full dynamics semester, which is either a spring or fall. We kind of talked about what those periods are, but it's a 6-month period. We present to over 180 GP and BC VARs. Again, a lot of the interest is on the BC side now. We do have that ISV library listing, the ISV Talks video, and the channel management kit, which helps you kind of get your team organized and get your program going. And we also have an offer from the Partner Index to all my clients, this free 6 months listing on their ISV directory. So that's a really great offer because we have a good relationship with the Partner Index, and that program is $1,750 a month. So times 6 months, that's $10,500 investment. There is a startup fee or $500 setup fee that really covers my time because we start working together a couple months before the semester starts to get your ISV library ready, your email templates, get our presentation put together, start working together before the semester starts. But once the semester starts, I get that invoice to you at the beginning of the month. That's due prior to the start of the service. And again, we have the new starter service for a new ISV that's just a 3-month spot. So we have one spot that will be that rotating ISV. We have semester 2, which is a new program that's still dynamics focused for either summer or winter semester. And we're targeting about 30 BC VARs. We're going to start that here, probably launch it in the May timeframe because I'm attending Dynamic Directions North America and be doing some heavy recruiting of partners to get them involved in our program. Again, you get the ISV library listing, the ISV Talks video, and the Partner Index. And that's only $750 a month, which actually is even lower than half of our normal program. So that's a good value, and of course the setup fee, because if you're not in our program already, I will charge that. Of course, if you're in our program and then you want to continue with semester 2, I'm not charging that setup fee again because we already covered all of that once. And then the Acumatica, that's our brand new service for the Acumatica channel, and we're going to have a staggered spring and fall. We're targeting 30 VARs. I've already got a good number of, I think around 20 VARs that have signed up for our program. And we have a separate ISV listing on our ISV library. And of course, the video and the Partner Index. And that's only $750 a month and a $500 setup fee. For that program, I am offering a referral credit because there's a lot of partners I don't know in the Acumatica space. So we kind of as a win-win are offering a referral credit of $250 per partner. And our next steps, if you're interested, let me know, send me an email. I'll put my contact information up here in a minute. The next step would be to sign a memo of understanding. That's really our 6-month agreement that kind of has the price, the terms, the services that we provide. And you do get that exclusive topic, but of course it's first come, first serve. So, if you are an AP automation solution and I already have that topic covered, then I'll ask you to join one of the other programs or come back at the next semester. And then we'll kick off meetings will be scheduled about 2 months prior to that semester starting, and we'll get started on the program. We have a pretty detailed list of tasks for yourselves, your marketing team, whoever's going to be helping gather those collaterals, putting together the emails and PowerPoints. And if you want to reach out to me, here's my contact information. It's Carol@dynamicsconnections.com. You can also, there's a lot of good information on my website. If you want to go take a look, I've got the ISV Talks videos, the endorsement videos, a list of our clients, an event page. So definitely want to check out more and watch some of those videos. I encourage you to do that. I also have a pretty active LinkedIn page myself personally, as well as Dynamics Connections. So check that out as well. Thank you for listening.